Hello everyone! Many of you fell in love with the Universal Transition shader, and the best way to thank you for that is by continuing the shader's support and improvement. So today I got some good news because the shader is even better. It's better because it's got 5 new features of which 3 were contributed by some of you. One thing that was much needed was a way to decide from where to start the transition. Previously, you could only do it from the corners or from the center, but now Girk Gamer came to the rescue with the amazing positioning feature which allows you to start the transition from any coordinate. You can now achieve your dreams of making a spy game with this classic iris reveal transition. The second feature fixes an issue which didn't allow canvas items using this shader to use the modulate property. Now you can change the colors of your textures all you want. Huge thanks to Black Dragon BE for this much needed fix. The next feature actually came from an issue raised by Damien1 Eileen, which figured that the transition shader could be used for more than transitions and wanted to fade in and out the contents of a scroll container. To make that easier, I added local and global mirroring, which had the unexpected side effect of making the shader so much easier to use. For example, say that I'm using the shape transition type to show some triangles on a 1x3 grid. I can now rotate the triangles and use the previously mentioned position feature to place them in this Christmas tree shape. If I now go to the mirror section, I can click on the global X mirror and I just created this down arrow transition. But if I click on the local X mirror instead, you'll see that nothing changes. And this is because on the X axis I only have one cell, so local mirroring basically does the same as global mirroring. But let's see what happens if I do the same on the Y axis. If I check the global Y mirror, the whole transition is mirrored from the middle. However, if I now check the local Y mirror, since I have 3 cells, you can now see that each cell is mirrored individually, creating this pretty spike effect. In combination with the X-axis mirroring, I just got a new trap effect. It's really flexible. Now, moving on, one annoying thing was that selecting a transition texture used to replace the base texture instead. This now works correctly as it applies the transition texture to the actual transition instead of the base texture. Now finally, is it the wind or did a new amazing feature just drop from Tomster BG? With this contribution, you can now create windy effects like these by modifying the horizontal or vertical cumulative stagger. What this actually does is to increment the stagger based on the row or column in the grid, and the further you are from the first row, the more each row is staggered. Additionally, you can use the cumulative stagger flip checkbox to make the stagger start from the last row or column. Alright, but these are pretty much all the plugin updates. You saw that most of them were not done by me, but were done by passionate developers like you who just wanted a better tool. Both the contributions and the raising of issues led to improving the plugin for everyone, and I invite you to do the same thing if you have any kind of ideas that would improve the plugin. But yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for all contributors, thanks a lot for watching, thanks a lot to my supporters, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!